has prepared this message, he will be able to speak to us on how to be heavenly heard. How to be heavenly heard. What you need to do for God to hear you. How do you need to position yourself for God to be able to see you? And how do you place your request that the Lord in His greatness will not deny your voice? From the section that was read by the minister a few minutes ago, we'll be looking at the account of Bartimaeus. I'll be looking at the places mentioned there. We started from verse 46, and from there I can come out with this for you. Jericho is about 50 miles from Jerusalem. Some of us will be going to Jerusalem next year. Shout hallelujah. You are going, you might be thinking, where is the paper? The Lord will provide it. Yes, heaven will surprise you. Yes. So Jesus was going to Jerusalem for Jewish feast of Passover. So Bartimaeus, one of the reasons why this account is very significant is the fact that Bartimaeus, as a person, is one of the people named in the Bible that experienced the greatness of God. And I would say this is one of the places the name of the person who experienced greatness of God is mentioned. The name Bartimaeus itself in Hebrew means the son of unclean. It means spiritual blindness. Every name has meaning. So the popular theology among the Jews was blindness is a kind of punishment from God for sin. Bartimaeus, in a nutshell, was a rejected person. He was an outcast. He was obviously poor. And he was a desperate beggar. So from Bartimaeus' request in verse 52, you can assume that his blindness was not congenital. That is, he was not born to be a blind person. Otherwise, his blindness was an acquired one. Let's take it verse by verse. Let's go to verse 47, and the Lord will minister to us. Say to somebody, write down. Write something down. Write something down. So from verse 47, when he heard that it was Jesus the Nazarene, Bartimaeus began to shout, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. So Bartimaeus was a believer like you and I. A believer who calls the names of the Lord, yet blind. He did not only call the name of the Lord, but the Bible recorded he was a passionate believer, as confirmed by the way he shouted, Jesus, son of David, have mercy upon me. He was not just a believer. He was a passionate believer. He was not just a prayer person, but a passionate prayer person. When you see people who are very passionate with prayers, the way they start, their position with prayers, their demonology with prayers is quite different. They do that, they say, hey, Father! And the person who is like, what are you shouting from? Just be calm. The Lord is here. So when I say there are passionate prayers and there are private silent prayers. But when you see people who are passionate about prayers, respect them. They know where they are coming from. So the Bible says Bartimaeus shouted. So in Christianity, shouting or crying out does not indicate all the time desperation or rudeness. It is an expression of faith with high levels of emotion. So each time a believer cries out, Christ Jesus comes in. The evidence for this is seen in the book of Exodus chapter 3 verse 7. Then the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people. I'm reading Exodus chapter 3 verse 7. I have surely seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and I've heard their cry, their shout, because of their taskmasters. I know their suffering. So God the Father hears and hearkened to believers shout, as he did for Israel in Egypt. Bartimaeus called Jesus familiarly. He called him as if they were wine and dining together. He called him as if he has studied his biography. He said, Jesus, the son of David, like somebody seeing me by the road. And said, Busayo, the son of Afusa. You understand? I will have to look back that this one must know where I was born. I must respond to this one. The son of David, that means the promised Messiah, who is to come from the lineage of King David. What are we saying here? Don't forget the title. How to be heavenly heard. How do I do it? That God will hear my voice. And we are looking at the account of a man who was not born blind, but situation of life made him to be blind. A passionate believer, a passionate prayerful person. So if you want God to hear you, you have to call him in a way that will make him to hear and listen. Ways that will catch his attention. Bartimaeus called him Rabbi, an indication of how much he knows God. So the big question for you and I, do you know God enough to deserve him to hear you? When you call somebody and your calling is introducing them down to their lineage, they have no choice but to respond. So until you know him, you cannot have enough of his mercy and manifestations. Bartimaeus' brief prayer was in line with the nature of the Lord. Look at that verse 47 very well. The prayer that Bartimaeus prayed, although very short, but the prayer was in line with the nature of God Almighty. He says, when he heard that it was Jesus the Nazarene, he began to shout. That's same 37 I'm reading, 47. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. So Bartimaeus did not pray amiss, but he prayed a heavily relevant prayer. His prayer was very sweet, and it gladdened the heart of God. Is your prayer sweet? Is it gladdening the heart of Jesus? So the Bible called our Lord merciful. Don't forget the prayer point today. The main point here is Bartimaeus prayed after the nature of God. Say, have mercy upon me. So the Bible called our Lord merciful. He sits on the throne of mercy, and he told Moses, I will have mercy upon whom I will have mercy upon, and compassion upon whom I will have compassion on. Romans 9:15. He prays after the nature of God. If you want to be heavenly heard, release your prayer, compose your prayer after the nature of God. He knows he's a merciful person, and he calls him merciful. He prays after the nature of God. Stop saying prayers that conflict whom Christ is. Christ is not a thief. Stop calling him for assistance when you are about to cheat a soul and a system. We contradict the nature of Christ when we say our prayers. Christ is a blessed God. Stop inviting him when you are about to take a biased stand concerning your neighbor. Is your prayer after the nature of God? No or yes. Christ is not a liar. Desist from praying to him to support your ungodly stories and your true stories. God is not unjust. Enough of you calling him to kill righteous soul. There are some prayers he will never answer. One of them is one that contradicts his nature. That blind man was very, very intelligent spiritually. Note this, when you understand the nature of God and you pray after his nature, then you experience supernatural occurrences. So simple. It's nature. You put it into prayer, and the outcome will be supernatural manifestations. Bartimaeus was very bold to call him publicly. Let's look at verse 48 to support that point. Verse 48. And many charged him that he should hold his peace. Keep quiet. But he cried the more in great deal, Thou son of David, have mercy on me. Same thing he repeated in verse 47. Note it. The same thing he said in verse 48. Note. Many scolded him to get him to be quiet, but he shouted all the way more, Son of David, have mercy. Let's analyze this. People around you, sir. The circumstances of life around you, the pressures of life around you, the stress around you, and the environment you are constantly telling you to stop calling on the Lord on a daily basis. They are continuously and possibly telling you to stop going to the house of God. Just like Bartimaeus. However, I want you to get strength from these pressures. I want you to get power from this discouragement. I want you to get focus from this unfaithful calling to keep it quiet. Call on the Lord more. Let's put it like this, do what Bartimaeus did. Verse 47. What he said, he repeated in verse 48. Call on the Lord more. Serve and worship him the more, as Bartimaeus did. The fact is this, sir. Wherever the name of Jesus is called, every other name must bow and blow. They will not only bow, they shall blow. Yes. Philippians 2, 9 to 10 says that. So I am praying for somebody in the midst of discouragement and pressures of life. The Lord will empower you more. I know you are surrounded by those things that keep telling you to mission. Say, keep my mission. He say, waiting. How come the altar? My hands are clean. What have I done? They keep telling you that. But I'm going to assure you, do not allow the pressures of life to alter your request. The same thing I said, he said in verse 47. He repeated in verse 48. Don't allow the pressures of people around you, the pressures of the system, to change your prayer point. Bartimaeus was saying the same prayer. Son of David, have mercy. You may change. Note this. I'm praying for somebody here. The Lord will empower you. It will give you the grace to be focused. In the name of Jesus. You will be able to stand. Irregardless of noises around you. Irregardless of distraction around you. You shall stand. You will maintain your stand. And you shall be outstanding. In the name of Jesus. Bartimaeus demonstrated high levels of persistence. Let's confirm that in verse 49. Jesus stopped and said, call him. So they called the blind man and said to him, do what? Have courage. Are you there? Have courage. Get up. The Lord is calling you. I am praying for somebody prophetically. For your settlement's sake. The Savior will stop. He will call you. In the name of Jesus. For the sake of your fruitfulness. The first fruit himself, that is Jesus. He shall stop. He will call you. for the sake of your health. The healer, Jesus Christ, it will stop, it will guide you. Note these believers. Your ability to call Jesus familiarly. Don't forget, Bartholomew called Jesus familiarly. He called him as if he wrote his background. He called him as if he was there when he was born. He called him as if they were from the same member of the same compound. Your ability to call Jesus familiarly, boldness, while you demonstrate some levels of persistence, make God to pay attention to you. It was persistence all the way. I am praying for just one person. Your circumstances, that thing that you are going through, it will catch the attention of God. I don't know what you are going through, but your situation with God, it shall catch the attention of Christ. Amen. Amen. Note this. The same people that discouraged him from calling the Lord, they were the same one who came to say, have courage. He's now calling you. The fact you had issues or misunderstanding with someone does not mean the Lord cannot use them positively again in your journey. Yes. The same people that told Bartholomew to keep quiet and remain on the same spot, they are the same one that went back to him and said, have courage, get up. He's now calling you. The same people who discouraged Bartholomew from praying were the same people the Lord said to him, he knows what he's doing. The same one that offended you is still going to be an instrument to your uplifting. The same one that anoints you is still going to be the same one that will announce you. God knows what he's doing. And he will surround you with people whom he will use as a test for you at every point in time. Imagine if Bartholomew has abused those words. They had hard fight. They had misunderstanding. Ungodly attention and distraction came upon around them. Who will be the same people? Or who are these people going to be? Or what role will they play when it's time for them to be now to be used as instrument of his upliftment? They were the same one who celebrated him later on. So God can use few people in your life to test your faithfulness in him. People around you. He can use them to test how faithful you are. He can use people around you, people in your household, people in your department, people at your workplace, to test how faithful, how patient you are, how tolerant you are. This is for somebody, a woman. Those who has condemned you in the past, by the name of Jesus, they are coming back. Amen. They will not only come back, they are coming back to celebrate it in the presence of Jesus. Amen. This is for the man. Remember, those ones were the one that carried the bad news. Say, keep quiet. They were the one who now came again with the good news. Those who has brought you the bad news in the past, and you have deleted their names. What kind of friends are this? They are coming back. Amen. They will locate you with good news in the name of Jesus. Amen. Verse 50, because of our time. The day is very loaded. Bartholomew's garment was the only property he had. Verse 50. Bartholomew, casting away his garment, rose and what? And came to Jesus. Let's analyze that. He dropped something on the floor. Bartholomew's garment was the only property he had. He was prepared to lose it to see the Lord. If you want heaven to hear you, there are things you must do. Bartholomew did something physically, but it has high spiritual significance. He threw away his garments. Those were the garments of self-pity. If you want God to hear you, there are certain garments that you must drop on the floor. Self-pity. What am I doing in this country when they have told me not to come? What am I doing in this marriage? They told me many times not to marry this man who is evil. What am I doing? What am I doing with this friendship? They told me many times I have that dream. I should have listened to myself. Then they said, self-pity. It will not allow you to go anywhere. And it will distract you from heaven. He threw the garment of, I am a beggar who have been a beggar for a while now. It's been a long time. We help me now. Garment of self-righteousness. You have to throw it down. We are the righteous one. Anytime we fast, something must happen. Let me fast. You kneel down. Two knee on the floor. Two, not one, two. And I pray for you something. Self-righteousness. Throw those garments. Nobody's righteous except him. Garment of filthiness. Garment of sin. You have to throw it down. Are you ready to do away with anything that can hinder or slow you down to attend to Christ's call? Imagine the beggar's garment. It will be big, dirty, and it can even entangle his leg as he will be trying to locate Christ. That will hinder him. He said, look, I am ready to do away with anything that can hinder me. Are you ready to do with anything that can block him from being in the presence of God? That is the only time God will hear you. Just as Barclay did, you must leave behind your whole lifestyle. The garment that he dropped was nothing but the identity of a beggar, identity of a poverty. He was ready. He left behind those things. You must be ready to leave behind your whole lifestyle if you ever want to be heard by God. You cannot wear the chef, you know the chef dress, and attend to somebody as a nurse. And they will say, this is error. You dress like a carpenter, you cannot fit my plumbing problem. You just dress like a lawyer. You got no clue about the issue I've got with my cooker. So, but you knew the importance of appearance before God, and the importance and the relevance of appearance in connection with the presence of God. There are times we appear with our whole lifestyle and we expect God to do something. Our whole lifestyle is still part of us. We still practice what we used to do, and we want God to hear us. It is not possible. Bartholomew, he jumped. That's the next verse. Yeah. Bartholomew jumped up. Is that verse 52? 51. Let's put it on the screen. That 51. I want to see. Verse 51. And Jesus answered and said, what will thou that I should do unto thee? You'll be thinking, we're going to go back to that. Why would Christ be asking again? He knew he was blind. And the blind man said unto him, Rabbi, that thou may receive thy sight. But before we get that, there's a part I read here. He says he jumped. Are you there? I want to see, is that verse 50? Yeah, and came to Jesus. He jumped up. He jumped. There are times when your body languages dictate your blessings. He jumped. There are times your body languages hinder your request. There are times the way you present your body may block heavenly blessings. I will explain that to you. He said, somebody, can I pray for you, sir? He said, hang on, pray, keep praying. Pray. Come on, go on, pray. And that's the body language that has blocked whatever they want to receive. I said, Uncle, there's something that the Lord has shown me about you. I'm wondering if you can fast tomorrow. I said, fast, for what? Fast, no, I can't fast. And now you fast. Did you know that your body language, your words, has actually prevented that from happening? And you just saw somebody who just like say, hello, man, God bless you, man. Let me say this, I've not been funny here. But in life, there are some people you should never say hi to. I can't see you say hi, man, hi. Such people will never go hi. The body language, mom is there. Whenever I see him in the morning, I go down. Carry money. There are some people in life that, with your body language, you let them know that I want blessing from God. So why am I saying there's some body language that can prevent God from hearing you? You see a minister on the altar there. And because, maybe you had an argument or kind of misunderstand, it's normal. It's quite normal. You be parking my parking space and I be like, oh, who is this? Can you carry? Like, oh, it's you, Pastor. Says, okay, let's forget about the pastor. And now I climb on the altar and you be like, no, this one will pray, I will not answer. I will not say anything. Those are the body language that can block him. But the fact that Bartimaeus, he demonstrated a body language that is very strong. The body language was so strong. And with the body language, he was able to demonstrate an attitude that raised him to the next level of his life. I want you to be careful of attitude. That's what I want you to know. Especially some of us growing up here. Please be careful. There are times, we just high rolling. It prevents heaven from opening. Honestly. Be careful. Be careful. There are times when the look you give to your parents, it blocks whatever blessing that the Lord wants to give you that month. Honestly. Please be careful. Be careful. Be careful. It's very important. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So he displayed a kind of physical thing. He jumped up, the Bible says. And as he jumped up, his heart was pushing for something. His body language transformed his spiritual intentions into physical for Jesus to access and allow the miracle to happen. And that helped Jesus to do less work in his healing because Bartimaeus has helped himself. Be careful of attitudes that can block your heaven. There are some people in the morning that you should say good morning to. There are some people in your life that you should not go to bed until you phone them. Honestly, note it. There are some people you should call them on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, to see how they are doing. Because through them, the Lord will open your heaven. Just like there are some people you must partner with. Even Lot knew. Lot did not know Abraham was the shield. He parted with Abraham. Please note that. Let's go to that verse 51 because of time. Are you there? Asking question has always been part of Jesus' ministry. And this is a form of self-assessment to confirm your faith in Christ. So your response to the Lord's question establishes your belief in Him. The Lord will say, ask you a question. You'll be thinking, why would that question come up again? That question must always come up. In the house of God, the Lord will push people to query you. At your workplace, the Lord will put people to ask you certain things that you'll be thinking, why on earth are they asking me this? They know my needs. It was just to ascertain your position that will be to ascertain your position of faith. And that will allow you to know that God is still God, because He has authority over you. He can decide to ask you anything. So for the fact someone is obviously blind does not make blindness stop of their priority. There are times we need to ask people. There are times we need to do our kind of research in spirit to know what are the needs of other people is. Don't assume. For the fact somebody, is blind does not mean he want the eyes open. As a matter of fact, he may prefer the eyes to be closed and receive more income from that. So there are times we need to go before the Lord and ask. Otherwise, we may misrepresent people. The reason why Jesus asked this question are to allow people to identify their present location in destiny. If you fail to have knowledge of present position in destiny, you cannot prepare and aspire for the next level. Number 2, to be able to assess and quantify their faith, as without faith you cannot please the Lord. Number 3, to establish the priority of their spiritual and physical needs, and to avoid misrepresentation in the presence of the God Almighty. Number 4, Christ will always ask you that question I mentioned. And He will always enter people to ask you questions. I will call it last minute test. What if Anna had failed her last minute test? The last minute test came from the mouth of a prophet. And the prophet Eli said, you were drunk, obviously. What if Hannah has responded in abusive form back to the prophet? Will he receive? No. But we prayed a prayer. He said, Lord, make me heal again. Are we there? He said, that I may receive my sight. The version that I wrote here, I said, Lord, make me heal again. Make me see again. And I'm praying for somebody. Ungodly turnarounds shall not be your whole portion. Amen. You used to be a giver. You will not become a beggar. Amen. You used to see. You will not become blind. Amen. But you used to see. He used to dress for himself. All of a sudden, people began to dress for him. He need to fend for himself. All of a sudden, people began to fear and to feed and to fend for him. She used to work. Now, being pushed on the wheelchair, that will not be your whole portion. Amen. Verse 52. Jesus said, go, your faith has healed you. Immediately he regained sight and followed him all the way around. Sir, Jesus did something. He pronounced healing upon him. He did not say, follow me. Bartimaeus decided to follow Jesus. He followed Jesus.